Welcome, Annie Collins here for Imagine Crafts. Today we're creating this Mother's Day card. Let's go over the products I used. I have a 110-pound A2 top folding card, and I have it in landscape style. That's white card base. And then from Ultimate Crafts, the La Aqua, I said that wrong, design stamp set. I'm going to use this butterfly image here and this floral image. From Poppy Stamps, the set is called Little Kindness, and I'm going to just use this little leaf image right here. Getting my camera to focus a little better. There you go, that one there. So let's go over the inks I'm going to use. I'm going to use from the Stazon brand. I'm going to use the Plum, the Caribbean Green, and Jet Black. From VersaMagic, I'll be using Tea Leaves. I'm using pink Grapefruit, pink Petunia, Persimmon, Thatched, that's VersaColor there, and that's Canary Yellow. And then I'm going to use Thatched Straw as well. From the IrRESISTable sprays, which is a texture spray, I'm going to use the gold one. Make sure you shake this up so that all that pigment incorporates. I have my Stazon multi-cleaner, on-point glue to adhere all our elements, and some foam adhesive. Here are our stamps. We'll need a piece of white cardstock and a piece of acetate. So I went ahead off screen and die cut my letters for my sentiment and a few of my images just to save us some time. The letters I cut out of Aspire Pellatics gold hard shimmering cardstock, and some of the leaves I used the other combinations like the thatched straw with the pink grapefruit and with the what's the other one, the pink petunia, just to give a little difference here. And I went ahead and did one of the butterflies as well. As you can see here, that's with the Caribbean and the Caribbean Green and Plum with the Stazon Black, Jet Black ink. We'll be using the Jet Black ink for all our images, but different inks as bases. So I have all these done ahead of time. And I also stamped and cut our leaves just to save us a little bit of time. And I did that with the tea leaves and the Jet Black ink. So I'm going to show you one right here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, clear our desk so we can get started. First, I put my card base in my splat box. I'm going to use this IrRESISTable spray. It's a textured spray, so anything that comes out of it, excuse me, when it dries with nice texture. I don't want to use it as a spray, I want to use it more of a splat. So I'm going to go ahead and to take out the nozzle, splat it or tap it so it makes splats, and I want bigger and smaller ones. So if it gets too big, I just use a paper towel and dab up a little bit of the extra. I'm going to set that aside to dry while we work on our butterfly. For this, I'm going to use our acetate. This is a perfect project for those days that you're not feeling like coloring. This is super easy. You just swipe your ink onto your acetate, and that's the Caribbean blue. Now we're going to do the plum, and we're going to swipe that on the bottom. Now you see I have a harsh line. You can use your napkin and just kind of blend it. I use a little bit of blending solution here, alcohol ink blend solution. I use a little more than I wanted to, but it's okay. I went ahead and dabbed it up and blended it. Or you can run your fingers through it and blend it because it stays wet. This is why I'm heat setting it. Normally I would just let it dry, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to heat set it with my heat tool. Now I'm going to place it into my stamping platform, and I'm going to center my butterfly on there how I want it. I want half of the butterfly in the green and half in the purple. I'm going to use my Stazon Jet Black ink, and I'm putting the colored side down, so now I have the other side of my acetate up. Again, I would let it set and dry on its own, but for the purpose of the video, I'm going to heat set this. And if you don't want to wait that long, just lightly heat set it, and then it won't come off. Now let's move on to our flowers. This is the perfect way to have colored images without pulling out all the markers to color it. Also on days that my hands are hurting, this is a quick and easy way to get my colored images done. So I started out with the canary first, and then I went in with the persimmon in the center. I'm using my finger to blend it out. Add a little more canary to get it to smooth out nicely. Pulling out down the Jet Black ink, Stazon ink, inking up my floral image and stamping it. I like the Jet Black because it's a nice rich black ink and it really pops off those other colors. Same thing, normally I would just let it sit and set, but I'm going to heat set it so that we can move on with our project. Bringing in again the IrRESISTable texture spray for the centers of my flowers. I just pull out the nozzle and do little dabs of it in the center and on the little stamen. If you're not comfortable with that, you can pour some a little bit on the side of like a scrap paper and dip something into it, paintbrush, toothpick. Either way, just to fill in your centers. Right, so now I'm just going to fussy cut our butterfly, and for the butterfly I left a little edge on there, but for the flowers I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to cut right up to the black line, just fussy cutting them out. But when you do that, you get the white showing from your cardstock. That's why I brought in the Tuxedo marker, the Memento Tuxedo marker, to do the edges, and that'll color in my edges, so now everything is nice and black. So let's build our card. I'm going to pull in all my elements. I have my leaves that I remember I did that off screen with the tea leaves and the Stazon jet black. And we have our card base. Now that's all set and it has all this wonderful dimension on it. I'm going to add some adhesive, some foam adhesive to the back of our to the back of our letters. I'm putting foam adhesive on the back of our letters. And I did a lot of this off screen just to save us some time here. Once I have that all set, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our card base and start arranging our design. But I realize I'm having a hard time centering this, so I'm going to move my paper out of the way and I'm going to go straight onto my grid mat. And even with that, I didn't get it centered. Well, didn't get it centered properly. I should have pulled out my ruler and done the ruler thing. But I was trying to save time, and instead I did double the work. So anyway, I'm going ahead and trying to center my letters here. I'm trying to get them as evenly spaced. Also, I only tap down the bottom of the letter so that I can easily move them. Because once you push it all the way down, it is set with the foam adhesive. But if you gently or lightly tap it, it's easy for you to work and remove it. So I fussy and get it over where I want it. Try to center that, and that M is still a little too high and crooked, so I have to work on it. Once I have that set, I go ahead and press them down, and now I'm going to bring my on-point glue to adhere our other elements. I start with one of these leaves. I'm going to tuck that under the this M, the little leg of the M here. And then one of the little flowers, and do the same thing, lift the little leg up, push that just under, and anything that hangs off, I'll just trim before I stick it in my envelope. I have a little foam adhesive on the back of this floral, and it's interfering. I put it too high, so I have to move that little foam dot down a bit. Now I can get it on there. And I'll just add, just for extra security, a little more of that on-point glue behind that petal. Go ahead and add some more of these leaves. Got that where I want it. Now I'm going to add our butterfly. I'm going to put this up towards the top, and I'm going to gently fold, get myself a little fold there, because I want the wings to pop up just a bit. So then I can put the on-point glue on that fold and then tuck it right there. And since the on-point glue dries clear, because it comes out clear, it won't show through the acetate. So it looks, you can't tell that it's glued on there, which is great. And now I'm going to tuck in this last leaf. I'm going to trim off the little stem, get that in there. Now our card is basically done, but I have those extra flowers and leaves, no, extra flower and butterfly that I'm going to put on the inside of our card. I can get my card to stay open. It's heavy because of the foam tape on there. And I'm going to place that in the center. Same thing with our butterfly, a little adhesive. Get that just kiss on that flower. And now our card is done. No extra embellishment is needed because you have all that beautiful color from the texture spray, from the IrRESISTable spray on the background, the shimmer from and shine from the acetate butterfly, the gold paper, and the flowers give it nice pops of color. Alright, so again, we use our Stazon and Caribbean green, plum, and jet black for our butterfly and we used the jet black, of course, for our flowers, along with pink grapefruit, pink petunia, persimmon, thatched straw for our florals, green tea leaves for our green leaves, and a little VersaColor in canary yellow to add all this wonderful shimmer and shine. Now, the irresistible sprays come in a variety of colors. I just happen to like this gold one here. I hope that you found some inspiration, and I will make sure to link everything in the description box below.